This week on Our Football, we take a trip down the turnpike and visit senior Paul Carazola from Eastern Pennsylvania and Quron Pratt from South Jersey.
Quron Pratt is in a foot race down inside the 30, and he's going to go the distance.
And we'll hear from the players about growing up in the Rutgers family.
For the Rutgers touchdown!
Whether they play 10 to 15 years in the NFL or it just doesn't work out and they never get an opportunity to play in the NFL, they're going to be very successful going forward in life. They're going to be good fathers. They're going to be good husbands. They're going to be good role models. They're going to have a positive influence on society. And if they're fortunate enough to play in the NFL, that's great. But if they play 10 years and then they're done, now they're 32 years old and they still have a lot of life to live. I want them to leave our program understanding that regardless of what their future holds, they're going to be really successful.
Kickoff from Fulkerson. It'll be Quron. 35-40. Quron Pratt is in a foot race down inside the 30, and he's going to go the distance for the Rutgers touchdown. Quron Pratt took it back for the Rutgers score.
Nova bullets one over the middle, and that's all the way down to the 15-yard line to Pratt. And boy, did he take a heavy hit.
It's a small hometown. Everyone knows each other. A lot of people have been here for years, and families have grown up. More family than friends here, I think, kind of how we refer to each other.
We just all get along. We all look out for each other. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, this is town. This is definitely the example to set for that.
The town is small, but it follows its athletes. Oh, the Pratt legacy, every one of them were athletes. And my husband was the first. He was track and football. He had all kind of records.
When I was in high school playing football, I was 127 pounds. One day I went to get on the bus, and the bus driver said, "Sonny, let the kids get on, and then you find a seat." When I grew up, I wanted to be just like him. Tall, dark, and handsome.
Then my son, Quron's father, he was a football, track, and basketball.
Quron was a very small child coming up. Everybody thought he would be 5'6", 5'7", never grow.
He was always very focused as a kid, as a young man, as a teenager.
He was a devil, but he was shy. You can tell he's shy now, but he's coming out of it since he's been at Rutgers. He's gotten a lot better.
First love was basketball. Played on the AAU circuit for his whole career. He was one of the top point guards in South Jersey and New Jersey.
He was a better basketball player.
Quron was the first to really play sports, and we kind of followed in his footsteps, which is weird because he's the youngest. But yeah, we definitely followed in his footsteps, so we ended up all loving sports, and that competitive nature carried over into everything: school, sports, life.
Also read my children National Honor Society, and I credit that to his mother. She handled all the academics. I handled all the sports. When we go to games, there's 30 or 40 of us, even up to Rutgers. High school games, it was 60 or 70. Have always traveled together as a family.
Being able to play here, it's a privilege, definitely. There's so much, it's great tradition here. I mean, my family's strong family tradition, definitely in Palmyra. I mean, everybody knows who the Pratts are in Palmyra. And just being able to carry on that tradition, I mean, it's wonderful. Words can't even explain it. Just hearing stories about how they played when they was in high school. So, I mean, yeah, it's wonderful, man.
When I got here, it was like basketball season. so I kept hearing how good he was. I didn't really know who he was at first, and the funny thing about it was we were in the same homeroom, and he was standing like he's literally sat right next to me.
He's always put in the hard work. Even when he was young, he would always do whatever it took to compete. He hates losing. But once he started excelling in sports and they found out even though he went to a small school, he could play with the big boys.
It's hard to be recruited like that. So we went through the whole going to camps, sitting out film, talking to every coach we could talk to. He had Duke offered in like William & Mary, Delaware, and the smaller schools. And we sat in there for about 4 or 5 minutes. We talked about the academics. We talked about the school. We talked about how that program has grew and playing at that BCS level. And then he committed right there in the spot, and it was a great feeling because I knew that he could play at that level.
When we went to Rutgers, it was a no-brainer. When Rutgers called, we were excited.
4 or 5 kids from South Jersey went to Rutgers in his class, and they had already signed earlier in the year, so he knew some of them guys, Logan Ryan, Aaron from Penns Grove.
Bullets went over the middle. That's all the way down to the 15-yard line to Pratt. Boy, did he take a heavy hit. What a comeback for Rutgers.
Great win, man. Big crowd into it, blackout. Man, great victory, man. Really good.
We all get in the van and ride on up to Rutgers and watch the game. It's exciting.
It's busy. We want to get there early. We want to try to make the initial team coming off the bus. It's a long day, but it's exciting. When you're at the game, you don't even realize that you've been there for so many hours.
It makes me so proud because the hard work and dedication he put into it. He wasn't a 4-star or 5-star athlete coming out of high school. He was an under-radar kid that actually worked his way up, and Rutgers found him. Rutgers did a great job of finding that talent.
The game is crowded and it's packed, and they're winning. So he definitely has accepted the college life and loves it. He bleeds Rutgers.
I'm just so proud of him. Words can't even explain how proud I am of him. It's just he's living out his dream, and that's all we always wanted him to do.
Get his education and go from there.
I am overwhelmed with pride for him, and I'm happy for him.
Championship, the Rose Bowl, the National Championship, and the Heisman Trophy. It has always been of paramount importance in Big Ten football to win the conference championship. This is one of those games that echoes forever. This is a game that reaches across generations, that emphasizes the passion of partisanship. This is a game where players make the big play.